It's better to be different than to be better.
I always say it's better to be different and worse than the same and better.
Yeah,
Think about
exactly.
that.
It's a good one too.
If you're the same but better, you're competing for deals. If you're
Yep.
different but worse, people are self-selecting into your feature set because it's different. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
And literally a master class in this, which everyone knows, is liquid death. Y'all, they're selling water. It's water. You get it for free at your house under the sink, right? People are buying it because it's different. It's water. It's the world's number one commodity. Like you're buying it because it's different. And so that is just obviously an anomaly, but like the number one masterclass in that concept, right? Is it's freaking water. So just remember that.
So
Yeah.
that's sort of our pattern interrupt is just doing the running in the opposite direction, even if it's worse, kind of. But
Even if it's
just
worse. Yeah.
By the
100%.
way, did anybody click on my Webflow link up there? This rebrand is done by No Boring Design. It's bananas.
it's Robot Adam and just this stark green that like we even had trouble getting printed on t-shirts because they're like, this is too bright green.
That's good. They're like that. There you go. That's a good signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's using. There you go. There's being different.
By the way, and I gotta shout out No Boring Design again because I think it's like really an incredibly consistent job that they did delivering that pop. It's not
Yeah,
easy to
this
do,
is cool.
you know?
This is super cool. Some people, I get haters in my DMs because I wouldn't call them haters, but some people look at the distribute site and it has Spanish on it, like Spanglish, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you forgot to translate some stuff," and I'm like, "No, I didn't. No, it's supposed to be in Spanish." Like, sorry. But yeah. So, anyways, we got a bunch of donkeys everywhere. People were like, "Why do you like donkeys?" Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But
Let's hop
cool.
into this perspective shift. So we interrupted the pattern. We finally got their attention. One thing I just want to highlight from that section too, you said like, don't talk to them like they're a prospect. I always say, try to like, how would you talk to your neighbor? If I was sending my neighbor an email, I wouldn't be like, hey, Simon, I hope this reaches you well. I'm emailing you in regards to
Yeah.
my garbage cans, which were left outside over the weekend. Like, it'd be like, hey, man, I left my garbage cans outside. Could you put them in?
Yeah.
It's that other type of language that doesn't immediately scream, I am selling you or about to. Okay.
Yeah.
So the perspective shift. Can you take us through that second step of this system?
Yes. Okay. This is a great one. So you want to do the pattern interrupt, right? That you're basically trying to do you're three strikes and you're out. You're trying three strikes here, right? Of like, what are you going to give them that it hopefully will change their mind, right? Or be like, oh, this is different. So we did the pattern interrupt, something that's different. They've never seen it before. Interesting. The perspective shift. Okay. So the perspective shift this is all insight based, right? What do people want when they go on Twitter, when they go on LinkedIn, when they go on anything? What they want to do is they want an insight, right? And they want an edge. So the perspective shift here is it's basically a before after bridge. And what I mean by that is, hey, before you used to think this, but now actually here's a little bit of evidence of why that's wrong and why you should think this, right? And has anyone read the Challenger sale? They're the challenger sale. It's basically that same concept. You're challenging what they already believe. Now, some people are going to look at you and they're going to be like, screw you, you're so wrong. And I get so many responses like that. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Right? Move on. You'll get so many of that. But what you're trying to do is make them learn something new. When someone says educate someone, it's changing their perspective, giving them something new that they've never heard before. Right? So again, there's some similarity to pattern interrupt, but you're helping them go from A to Z in a different way, right? So I probably told all y'all, you thought I was going to come on this call and be like, here's the top templates that you should use, and these templates are magic bullets. No, none of the templates are magic bullets. You got to start with infrastructure, which you probably were like, oh, I didn't know that he was going to become an IT nerd for 10 minutes, right? So that is essentially, that's the difference. I want you to have a perspective shift that it's not just about the copy in the email. It's about the setup before, you even get to that part. All right.
And we have some questions in here about like, what are examples of a perspective shift or a pattern interrupt? How do you find those things? Is there a system you go through? I mean, I personally will I'll take 10 examples of the what's common in the room and just observe that and try to draw commonalities and then just run as fast as I can in the opposite direction. But
Yeah.
how do you approach that?
Yeah. So we'll do the honestly, I use AI to help with this. I don't just do it off the top of my head, y'all. Like I say, here's my product with AI. I probably have a saved prompt everywhere I can give someone. Um, but I want what's a pattern interrupt I could do here that's different. I use Perplexity for this because it does live search on the web. I think Grok does it now too, a few others. But I'll use that and I'll kind of research it before and say, what's a pattern up here that's different? What's a perspective shift? Right? What does that look like? And so that is essentially how I'll research it. So to give you an idea of a pattern interrupt, you made something great, Pete. It's like come up with the first 10 things that come to mind and then say, I'm not using any of those. Right? The perspective shift. What's that? This is a hot take, is basically what it is, right? The perspective shift is a hot take. For us, like at Distribute, I'll give you an example. One of our emails was like, hey, you're so worried about top of funnel is important, but you know what's more important is middle of funnel. Let me show you some metrics on why. And actually, most people are so like obsessed with top of funnel that if they actually just increase their conversion on mid funnel a few percentage points, it is actually worth about 10x more. Your efficiency is just way better there, right? The efficiency in the mid funnel and getting better there is way more than trying to go get 1,000 more leads. So once you look at the number, that's a perspective shift. I'm sure no one here knew that, right? And so my job is to try and educate people on that, right? And show them like, hey, actually, you think new leads is going to solve your problem? It's not. It's actually giving more love and being more organized and actually winning more deals in the middle funnel, of your process. So, and I've seen this 1,000 times over, y'all. This is, there's once you do the numbers, it's very clear. It's a lot harder to get the number of leads you need to get a deal than it is to actually just improve your conversion rate by a few points, right? So, anyways, well, we can go through the math later, but perspective shift,
And
right?
that's something too that's used by, I mean, you and Adam and a ton of
Yeah,
others on LinkedIn too. It's like that first sentence. I use Adam, a post that Adam had made from earlier this quarter as an example. It was in December we shut off all of our demand generation channels. We saved 100K a month. Here's why in January we grew X%, and it was our
yeah,
best month ever. It's like, well, how are those? I have to see how both of those things are true, you
yeah,
know
yep,
and that's it's that like intrigue that I see from you guys and other folks.
yeah,
So let's wrap this up. Let's talk about like kind of bridging the gap between perspective shift. Like the third step here is this value bridge. So you've gotten their attention. You've gotten them to look all the way into kind of your solution based on offering this sort of contrarian type of viewpoint that
yeah.
makes them want to understand more of that story and how it's true. So, where does offering value come into this third step here?
Yeah. So in those first two emails, and I have multiple formulas, y'all. This isn't the one that I'd like do every time. This is a whole nother thing is you have to be constantly testing cold emails, right? We can do a whole nother session on my testing process, right? But this is one formula out of like 20 that I have. So again, early outreach, I was forced to learn all this stuff because I had to get people meetings, right? And that was like our goal. So I had to like get all this together. But the next thing that we'll talk about is the value bridge. It isn't until that third email that we're actually pitching our product. We don't pitch our product till the third email, right? Insight, boom. Then you say basically, hey, if you like that, we can actually help you with your middle funnel process by doing boom, boom, boom. The third one is going to be more of your typical email that relates back to your email one and two. So the third email here is going to sound more like the original email, or I'm sorry, the original emails that most people do, right? For their sales process. So we've essentially flipped this on its head. We've said that email doesn't come until you've actually provided an insight and a pattern interrupt, right? Or a hot take that's changed their perspective. Then at that point, yeah, jab, jab, right hook. There you go, Mark. That's a good way to put it. I haven't read that, but I heard it's a good book. But that is essentially what we do. That third email is nothing special. The value bridge is essentially you now tying back. You're going for the ask. And the ask, by the way, y'all, is not, can I get 30 minutes? The ask is a dynamic lead magnet. What's a dynamic lead magnet? That is something that you can create for them. I usually create, it's very meta, but for us, it's distribute deal rooms, right? So what we do is hey, by the way, if you believe in these things and you want to actually test this out and improve your middle of funnel processes, let me know and I'll make you like a deal room to show you what this would look like for you selling to this company who, X company. And they'll go, and I go, reply sure, just like my LinkedIn content or, the lead magnets on LinkedIn. And it works also on email, right? And so, Ziad, no, it's not a free trial. It's an example of what a deal room. I sell deal rooms, right? Distributor deal rooms or follow up, AI follow up pages. So when I give them an example of it and say, this is what it would look like for you. Wouldn't it be cool if you had this too? And then we provide them with that. And then if they want to meet with you, they will tell you. That's my rule. That let them come to you, right? And it also is a forcing function for you to make great stuff, right? You want them to come to you. If they're not coming to you, then there's a problem. It's either your offer or your product isn't something they want, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You want the shit to fly off the shelves.
It-
You just want
yes,
them
for
to be
lack of a
like
better term, yes.
lining up, being like, how do I get the thing that you're even talking about before you
Yes.
even say that? So someone had asked too, is there a call to action in emails 1 or 2? Or is it just an email 3 where you're giving them something to do?
Just email three. Just email three. Yeah.
Are
Just
they
email three.
threaded together or is it
They're
just,
all
it's
threaded, same email thread.
okay.
One, two, three.
Okay.
Boom. One, two, three. That's it. And only in that one do you do it, right? But again, your first email and your second email has to be something interesting that they didn't know, so they don't mark you as spam, right? Pattern interrupt, hot take, they may not. And if they don't like your hot take, you're gonna get marked as spam regardless. You guys, just sorry, that's just what people do. But people that want an edge and are willing to learn, like if I get something interesting, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what this guy's gonna send me next, right? Most sales leaders are thinking like that because we want to see how they're approaching it. All right. And those are your buyers. And if it is interesting, I say, hell yeah, like send me more info. No skin off my back for you sending me a sample, right? Like I don't have to
That's
meet with you. Once you ask me to meet with you, I'm like, oh man, this sounds like a lot of work. Like,
even the
sorry.
15 minutes nowadays. Everyone's asking
Yeah,
for
yeah,
15.
exactly. It's
Oh,
just not gonna work. So it's just tough. But yeah, that's kind of the way I would think about it, y'all. And again, there's no silver bullet. I have a bunch of templates that I gave out on LinkedIn. But what I like to say is there's more to it than that. Those are helpful for sure, but I hope everyone here just kind of understands that there's, infrastructure, getting your name out there, sending from your founder if you can. Like, even if you're a big company with 1,000 employees, get your founder active and send emails from them. Why not? Test it out. So yeah.
heck yeah. Last question here. Well, we got two. I'm going to do two. Someone said, Ishan said gaps between emails. What is your time delay between 1, 2, and 3?
Honestly, the default is like 2 days between. I just leave it at
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like some scenarios, edge cases where I'll do like one, but mostly just two. Just two. Yeah, nothing crazy. And then personalization. People are gonna hate me for saying this, but personalization is overrated at this point in time. Honestly, when I see personalization, I know it's AI and it's fake. It honestly rubs me more wrong than it does just an automated email that's good. Right?
I don't know why that's true, but when I get an email that's like, "Hey Pete, I saw you went to
Yeah.
Penn State. My friend said the on-campus
Yeah.
spring whatever is a hoot." I'm like, no one said that. No one's ever said
Yeah.
that.
So, so what you can do is if you look at, again, I'm going to go back to the ad example, and I know we have to drop here, but if you look at ads, how many ads are personalized exactly for you? None. Ads aren't, guess what? They get people to buy. None are personalized. Sure, they're targeted towards you as like an ICP in general, but they're not like, hey, Andrew, you're looking at this ad now. Like, click here. Like, it's not. And so, if it this is a whole nother theory, but it needs to evoke an emotion. Putting all this together, this formula, what does it do? It evokes an emotion. Holy shit, I didn't know that. Holy shit, I should learn more about that. Oh my God, that's crazy, right? It has
No
to
one's going to
evoke
take a
that.
meeting because they're from your hometown. It's just not
Yeah,
going to
no, no, no.
happen.
It
They're
has to
going to
evoke
do it
like,
because
yeah.
it's value.
And guess what? You don't need to personalize to do that. Like, sorry, you just don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, in great copywriting is all about transferring the emotion from yourself
yeah.
to the reader. That is
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
That is it. And there's a whole study of how to do that. But man, if you can do that, you win.
Yeah, and Adam is great. What's some Adam's emotion on LinkedIn posts? Can anyone describe that in the chat? What do you think is that? What emotion does he evoke with his LinkedIn post?
Anger.
Energy. Yeah, let's see what else. What else?
Oh my God.
Drama. Yeah. So this is
Insight,
good.
excitement. I mean, it's the whole wheel. By the way, if you want to like think about emotions when you're writing, you can just type in wheel of emotion into Google and it's every emotion.
Yeah, yeah.
That you can
Y'all,
like try to hit and you can use even describing the emotion helps transfer the emotion.
yeah, and put this in your prompts like, hey, this email needs to evoke an emotion, right? Like, just literally say that and say what emotion you want to evoke. But like, you want to invoke an emotion, whether it's excited or whatever, it needs to evoke that. Okay. My therapist wife pulls that wheel out. Oh, that's funny. Ryan, we feel for you, man.
Well, guys, Andy,
Yeah.
first of all, killer show. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining. You brought the masses. You gave insights. Someone even dropped in. I don't know where it was, but to scroll up, like this was so much better than templates. I agree. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to fill out that template with something interesting, and no one can do that for you. That's
Somebody asked for the attendee count. We were up to 595. I bet you we were like 650 to 700 unique based upon that. We're up to 595 max concurrent. That's a lot. Everybody wants to know about sales. Everybody wants to know about emails. We will learn from the attendance and we will bring more of that content.
Let's go. I hope everyone got a ton of value. And the value to time ratio was huge here. So that's what I hope. So yeah, everyone, thank you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Or if you're in Austin, let us know. We'll go wake surfing. If Adam allows it, it's Adam's.
Hell yeah. We'll go wake surfing. Whoever's in
Pile
Austin.
in.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hey, next week we got Sam Parr. He's the founder of Hampton. He runs a big podcast, talks to some of the most successful founders. We're going to talk to him next week about building wealth from a small business, how he started this media.
Sam Parr from My First Million, baby.
Yeah, man. Dude,
and then I'm gonna try to get on My First Million, and he's gonna tell me I'm not famous enough. Watch. Yeah. I'm gonna put him on the spot. I literally asked Sean Puri 2 years ago. I'm like, bro, like, can I get on? He's like, well, I'll ask my producer, but my producer always says you're not famous enough if you don't have hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. So,
oh wow, it has to be Twitter. It has to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's interesting. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, well, he's a good. I feel like small fish coming on this show now, man. Look at that.
We're trying to stair step. So we got Andy, big face, and then we're just trying to.
Yeah, look at that. Sam Parr's a legend. He's a good guy. I think he's in Austin too, Adam. You guys.
He moved to Westport, Connecticut. He didn't like it here. He lived in the wrong neighborhood. He moved to East Austin. It's not. He should have moved to you know what I mean, Clarksville, where you are, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, he's like settling down. I think if you're running around and single, East Austin's great, but like if you're settled, like it's not.
That's not the place. Not the place. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to hop for a call, guys.
Me
Thank
too.
you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
next week.
If you want to get higher response rates, you got to get in the inbox first. Guess what? I always tell people this. If my abuelita, messages me or emails me, I'm going to open that email. I don't give a shit what the subject line is, right? Most people that you talk to about cold email today will say cold email sucks. It doesn't work. And I go, really? The subject line is the most important part of the email? No, it's not. It's actually getting the email in the inbox. The second most important part of the email